Hey guys, today's video is going to be about fitness myths, and then I'm going to cover exactly how I coach differently. So I'm going to cover over these 15 myths, debunk them, show you exactly why these are not true, and then I'm going to go over exactly how I coach differently from here and kind of give you a brief overview of how I help you lose weight sustainably without, super restrictive diets and without, some of these myths in here. So getting into it, the first one is that you can spot reduce fat. So a lot of people believe that, okay, if I work out my arms are going to be more toned. I'm not going to have flabby arms. It's just going to go away. So in reality, what happens is if you're a person who holds fat in their arms, that fat is going to be one of the last things to come off. Same thing if you're like, all right, let's do it. I'm going to lose the fat in my midsection. This is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do a bunch of crunches. So doing a bunch of crunches, it's going to build up your core, but it's not going to make you lose fat. And losing fat takes time, number one. And number two, it comes off all throughout the body at once. So you can't target a specific area. If you're really trying to lose a specific area, that means you got to lose from everywhere. So, don't get discouraged by it if you're like, why is my upper body so lean but my legs are so flabby? Or why is my, arm so lean but my stomach is flabby? Don't worry. You're not alone. Everyone's genetics are different. So, I'll give you an example myself. For me, my lower stomach is the last area to lose fat. And trust me, coming from me, I've gotten down to single digit body fat. I do not get the bottom ab line until I am super lean. And even at like 13%, 14%, I really don't have that bottom ab line. I only get that at the very, very end. And it's very discouraging because, you're making a ton of progress, you're losing a ton of weight, and you're not getting what you want? And sometimes you just got to push a little bit further. As well as for me, myself, I hold a lot of fat in my lower back. Just how it is. It's all genetic at the end of the day. But for example, I don't hold any fat really in my arms. I don't hold a lot of fat in my upper back. So there's trades off in this. You can have areas of your body that are super lean all the time and areas that are not. And some people, they have a super lean midsection all the time, but their quads are super flabby. And everyone just has to embrace kind of their genetics. And if you're really trying to lose fat, it takes time, number one. You have to be in a calorie deficit for a long time. Make sure you're doing the right things. And you'll be able to lose the fat in all the areas. And then kind of set a new baseline. And when you start to gain weight again, then you're not going to have as much excess fat. So another one is cardio is the best way to lose weight. So when a lot of people come to me specifically and they say, I ask them, what are you doing when you're working out? Like, what are your workouts? Stuff like that. They're basically saying, oh, I'm doing an hour of cardio a day, or I'm doing 2 hours of cardio a day. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot of cardio. Like, that's no joke. And I'm like, okay, so like, how is that working for you? And they're like, well, I really, really haven't lost any fat and I really haven't lost any weight. And I'm like, okay, so realistically, you only need to be doing cardio like a couple times a week, like 3 to 4, and probably 15 to 20 minutes. That's it. Like, cardio is not the best way to lose weight. Number one, because let's say you have some Oreos, okay? And let's say you eat 500 calories of Oreos, okay? That's not that many cookies. Like, realistically, maybe that's like half a dozen, six cookies, maybe. Maybe it's 10. I don't know. I don't eat Oreos that much, so I can't attest to that. But realistically, you could probably eat those you could eat them in a minute, but I'd say probably in 5 minutes you could eat 500 calories of cookies. Okay. If you wanted to lose 500 calories doing cardio for the average person at like 10 speed, 3 incline, you're probably going to burn 500 calories in 50 minutes. So think about it. Every single time that you're like, I'm just going to do cardio and I'm going to lose the weight. Okay, you can, but it's going to take a lot longer. So 5 minutes of not eating cookies, 50 minutes of cardio. It's really up to you at the end of the day, but My advice to you is it's a lot easier to drop calories a little bit instead of increasing a ton of cardio, as well as there's a balance to everything. I'm not saying cardio is bad. I do cardio myself, but I'm saying there's a balance to it. You only need to do so much cardio instead of just dropping food down. And like I said in my last video, it's a tool that you can implement, okay? So if you're already doing a 200 to 300 calorie deficit and you're like, man, I just can't drop any more food. Like, I just can't do it. Like I'm not losing weight. I'm not doing any cardio at all, but I've dropped my food so much and I just can't do it anymore. That's when you could start using cardio as a tool. That's when you could implement it in. That's a good time to implement it. If you've already implemented the calorie deficit, it's a tool that you build on top. Okay, now I add cardio. And even before then, I would probably say calorie deficit, working out, cardio last. And a lot of people, especially women, like to go to the gym and just do cardio. And I'm here to tell you that it's a lot easier to build more muscle, which will increase your metabolic rate. Having more muscle, you're going to burn more energy throughout the day because your body needs to sustain that muscle. You're going to be using your muscles a lot more. So it can be a lot easier to just eat a little bit less, build more muscle, and then add cardio as a final tool, the final thing that you need to kind of complete the whole package. Kind of piggybacking on that. Number 3, you can out-exercise a bad diet. So, yes, you could theoretically, but realistically, you're not going to. Like we just talked about, 500 calories, 50 minutes. So, all right, you could eat over 1,000 calories a day if you want to, but that's going to take you 100 minutes of cardio a day. Do you really want to do 100 minutes of cardio a day? I don't think so. Like, I personally wouldn't. Maybe even have to do 2 hours of cardio to get it in. I personally wouldn't do 2 hours of cardio to eat, an extra 1,000 calories of cookies. Maybe there are people out there, maybe people would. Maybe a one-off occasion. But what you could do instead is, eat moderately. Okay, so if you're like, you know what, I want to have some Oreos today, even if you do this, and I really wouldn't recommend this, but people will do it, is if they eat 300 calories, they'll do 300 calories of cardio. Now, those don't really equate, and I wouldn't say to do that. You can do it, but it's not the best method. And I would just say in general, if you're going to have a small cheat, just have the small cheat. Don't punish yourself with cardio. Like, cardio shouldn't be a punishment. It should be a tool that you use. Like, if you've ever had a coach and you cheat on your plan and their first response is, all right, you got an hour of cardio. Punishment. That's not the best way to coach, because number one, it's not really teaching a lesson. It's not being like, hey, what was the reason for you, eating off your diet? How can we improve on that? How can we communicate better and, reduce it, or stay more on plan? It's punish the person for something that they did. And, everyone's going to do it sometimes. Everyone's going to eat off their plan. Everyone's going to cheat a bit. It's normal. Everyone's going to do it. And people, it's not uncommon for people to want to eat tasty food. I sure do. I like it. I'm sure you do. So at the end of the day, don't punish for cardio. You can't really out exercise a bad diet, but don't punish yourself with cardio for going off your diet. The next one is muscle weighs more than fat. So I'm sure you've seen diagrams and stuff of this is 10 pounds of fat and this is 10 pounds of muscle. Okay, so muscle is more dense, but it's the same thing as a pound of gold and a pound of feathers. They're both a pound. They both weigh the same amount. So it doesn't matter what it is. It's more about the density, not the weight. So, if you have 10 pounds of muscle on your frame, you're going to be a lot stronger and you're going to look a lot bigger and more buff than somebody who has 10 pounds of fat. So just putting that into perspective, they both weigh the same. Density is a little bit different. Number 5, women will get bulky from lifting weights. This one always is really funny to me because, as somebody who wants to build muscle, I swear if a woman could just pick up a weight and become a professional bodybuilder. Like, why couldn't I do it? Like it's just it's a little bit silly to me. But women will not get overly bulky by lifting weights. In reality, if you want to have a toned physique, that means you need to weight lift, because I can guarantee all of your favorite influencers, movie stars, anybody who has some definition of their muscle is lifting weights. So if you really want to achieve that goal, that means you need to lift weights. You got to be using a diet or some sort of meal plan regimen so you know what you're eating with your protein intake, and maybe take some protein powder, but you're not going to get overly bulky like some bodybuilder women dedicate their whole life to that. To achieve that, you're just going to be lifting some weights. So women, especially when you're lifting weights, make sure that you are training to build muscle, because if your goal is to lose fat and your goal is to get more toned, that means you need to weight lift, and you need to weight lift hard. Just like anybody else who's trying to build muscle, you need to be trying to train for strength, progressive overloading, hitting your protein goal. All of those things play into part when you're really trying to build your physique. So crunches equals six pack. Now this one kind of talks about number one, but it's, a lot of people believe it. So for example, in the picture that I posted on my story, that picture with me with perfect abs, and people say I have an 8-pack. Sometimes I think it's more like 6, but either way, to get abs, you do not need crunches. It is strictly your body fat. You know why? Because there are people who are super, super, super skinny and they have abs and they have never stepped a foot in the gym, a day in the gym, They've never been in the gym, but they have abs. How? Because it's not crunches. It's your body fat percentage. So it's not crunches. You do not need to do crunches to get abs. Sure, you can increase the size of your abs. And if you want to work out your abs, train them like any other muscle. Okay? Every single muscle in your body to get bigger needs to be put under more load. So most people, I think the best way to do it is an ab crunch machine and increase the weight. Increase the weight, go to failure, and do 2 to 3 sets. That's it. You don't need to do ab circuits. You don't need to do 50, 60, 70, 80 reps. You just need to do, 10 to 12 reps, load the muscle enough, progressively overload each week, and you will build up your abs. If I had to give 2 recommendations for abs, I would do a hanging leg raise. Can be a little bit more advanced, so you can do like a knee to chest kind of leg raise or hanging raise too. Or I would say ab crunch machine, or I would say like the rope ab cable machine. So you have the rope and you crunch down on your stomach from above. That's what I would do. So the next one, number 7, eating late at night causes weight gain. Now, a lot of people say that you need to do intermittent fasting or some sort of fasting diet to lose weight. The reason why you see and think that if you don't eat at night, you don't gain weight is because what are you normally eating at night? Okay, so let's say you stop eating at 7, but you normally finish your last meal at 10. Well, after dinner, what are you normally going to have? Cookies, ice cream, cake. You always have a dessert, And if people are consistently having a dessert at night and you stop having it at night, what does that do? It puts you in a calorie deficit. That's it. So intermittent fasting, the reason why it works is because you're not eating for the same amount of time. So let's say you normally wake up and you eat and you snack throughout the entire day until the night, and then you sleep. Instead, now you only have 6-8 hours to eat all of your meals. Now, imagine normally you're eating, let's say, 3,000 calories. If you told me I'd eat 3,000 calories in 4-6 hours, bro, I would be stuffed. I couldn't do it. And I would eat less as a result. So by eating less, calorie deficit, that means you lose weight. Because, for example, my meals are spaced out every 2 to 3 hours. So in 8 hours, I could eat 4 meals, but I have 5 meals. So I would only get 4 out of the 5 in. I'd lose weight. So just touch up on that. Basically, Eat it at night. Does not cause you to gain weight. If anything, this is the only thing it could possibly do. So if you eat your last meal at 10 and you weigh yourself in the morning, you're going to weigh more, most likely, than if you eat your last meal at 7 and you weigh yourself in the morning. Just because the food hasn't digested as much. Or there could be other factors. If you drank more water that day, if you didn't go to the bathroom that day, all of those things play an effect in your actual scale weight, but the calories are no different. So if you're trying to lose weight, you could eat all your meals at the last minute of the night and you would have no difference in your actual weight because it's the same amount of calories. Number 8, you need weight loss shakes or supplements. So a lot of people I see when they try different diets, they're like, or nutritionists, I see a lot of nutritionists do this. You're going to drink all your calories. You're going to only eat this. Good luck, pretty much. So supplements are there to supplement normal food. Now, do you need them? No. But they have a place just like everything else. It's a tool that you can use. Supplements are a tool. Are they necessary? No. Can you use them? Yes. So protein powder, for example, a great supplement to get your protein goals in. No problem with it? Sure. It's a supplement, but it's not the worst thing in the world, but those weight loss shakes are just terrible. I hate them. I have many people come to me with weight loss shakes and they're like, this is I drink 4 shakes a day. And I'm like, wow, so you have no food basically is what you're telling me. You have no carbs, you have no fats. She's only making you drink shakes, or he's only making you drink shakes. Normally they're women, but either way. Um, it's unhealthy. I don't think it's the best way to diet at all. I think the best way to diet is to do something sustainable, non-restrictive, that you can actually follow for more than a month. Because a lot of the time people go to a nutritionist, they get a really hard diet to follow that they have not done at all, and they're eating completely differently, and then they're supposed to make a change in a day, and that's not going to happen. You're not going to stick to it, and you're not going to get the results you want. So shakes and all of that is not the way to do it, and I can guarantee like you don't need that to lose weight. And I would way rather have you eat whole foods. If they're prescribing you a bunch of protein shakes, eat some chicken, eat some beef, turkey, salmon, whitefish, same difference, all the same. But eat whole foods, number one. They're going to keep you more full, and you're going to feel a lot better because you're going to have more nutrients, you're going to have more vitamins, more electrolytes too. You're just going to feel better overall. The next thing is carbs is the cause of my weight gain. So a lot of people, like I said, follow fad diets, follow some nutritionist advice. But I'm going to tell you, carbs are not the cause of your weight gain. They're not. People do keto. People lose weight. Why is that? Okay. What is the least satiating nutrient? Carbs. What is some of the most? Well, it'd be protein or it'd be fat. Fat is the longest energy. Carbs are the shortest when it comes to energy. So when you eat only protein and only fat, you're going to feel fuller for longer. And I understand the point of keto. Some people like it, some people don't. But you're going to feel more full. So you're going to eat less food, which means calorie deficit, which means weight loss. Not just because of carbs. Okay? Because carbs and protein have the same amount of calories. So it doesn't really matter which one. Okay? You definitely want to have your protein higher and your fats in a moderate space. And then carbs are the thing that are interchangeable. But carbs are part of a balanced diet. Okay? I can get to single digit body fat eating a good amount of carbs. That does not mean that you need to cut out your carbs. You can still eat carbs like pasta, bread. You can eat pizza and still lose weight. You don't need to restrict yourself. That's the overall theme that I'm going through here, is that people restrict their diets for no reason, and you don't have to. For number 10, sweating equals burning fat. So a lot of people have this misconception that, oh my gosh, if I'm drenched in sweat, that means I had the best workout ever, and that means that I just lost so much fat. But in reality, not really. Sure, sweating means that you're cooling down from heating up a lot and your heart rate was higher, but it doesn't correlate directly to calories. So if you have an Apple Watch and you hit a really hard workout and it says you burned 300, 400 calories, maybe you burn that, but Apple Watches are pretty inaccurate as well. Um, but sweating overall doesn't mean that you lose fat, because guess what? You go in the sauna, you're going to sweat a whole lot more than you did in the workout. But the workout was more energy expensive. So you burned calories during the workout more than you burned in the sauna by a huge margin. So does not mean that you're burning more fat. Lightweight plus high reps equals toning the muscle. So this one I see a lot from, mainly women who want to tone up. Totally understandable. But higher reps and light weights doesn't mean toning. In reality, you're probably going to lose muscle. If you're previously training for strength and you're doing less reps, maybe you're doing 10 to 12 or 8 to 12, and you're doing it for, more strength and more weight, and you then switch to doing half the weight and 20 to 25 reps, you're probably going to lose muscle. And you're probably going to be less toned than if you just continued what you're doing. So a lot of people, when they're trying to lose weight, they'll be like, oh, I got to start toning and I got to start doing lightweight high reps so that I just tone up. Well, you really need to keep doing the same training if you want to keep the muscle and if build more muscle even when you're on lower calories. So definitely when you're training, just stick to strength. Just stick to progressive overload. Just because you're losing weight does not mean you need to change the way you train. It does not mean that you need to go into this toning mindset and high reps mindset, because it's not going to help you out at the end of the day. Okay, so the next one is you need to work out every single day. So a lot of people come into the gym with the mindset of, if I want to hit my goal, that means that I need to work out 7 days a week. Or maybe they get a personal trainer that tells them, hey, we're going to work out 7 days a week together. Let's do it. Let's kill it. And it's like, hey, that's not the right way to do it. Number one, if you haven't been working out consistently, you're never going to be able to do 7 days a week. It's very unsustainable, number one, based on a recovery standpoint and on a mindset standpoint, because if you're not working out at least 3 days a week to start, imagine jumping to 7. So basically, when it comes down to that, the real thing that you need to focus on is working out, like I've talked about in the past, like 3 times a week. If you're just starting out, just do 3 times a week, 3 to 5 times a week. I think 5 times is a great sweet spot. It's a good balance. If you can't, then 4 is great too, or 3. I mean, honestly, more activity is better than none, and whatever works best with your schedule is what's going to work best for you. There's no point in time where it's going to be like, well, I need to not go to work out. That's not sustainable. So it's realistically whatever you can do, whatever you can fit into your schedule, that's going to work best. So if you're going to work out 4 times per week, maybe you do 3 weightlifting days, you do kind of an active recovery day where you do a little bit of cardio, maybe hit some abs, you'll be fine. Or you can do 4 workouts and each workout you add 10 minutes of cardio or something like that. Space out your cardio. Don't do it all at once, just so you have more energy throughout the week. But that's a pretty simple one. I know a lot of people kind of have trouble with the idea of like taking rest days, and rest days are really important. They help you to actually build muscle, because you don't build muscle in the gym, you build muscle outside the gym. So make sure to take your rest days, make sure to take your time off, enjoy it, but get back into the week whenever you have your next workout. So the next one is you can turn fat into muscle. So a lot of people talk about this and say like, oh, let me turn this fat on my body into muscle. So that's impossible. There are 2 different types of tissue. You can't turn fat into muscle. What you can do is lose fat and build muscle. So focus on, being in a calorie deficit, lowering body fat down. During this whole process, if you really haven't worked out at all, you're still going to be able to build muscle because you're going to have like new beginner gym gains, and they're going to come on pretty quick because if you've never worked out your muscles adapt pretty quickly and you put on some muscle pretty quickly. So, you know, it's going to take a bit of time, but eventually after lowering your body fat down enough, then you're going to be in an even more prime position to build muscle. So you're going to be more insulin sensitive. You're going to be able to react better to nutrients and food, and you're going to produce muscle and build muscle easier. The next one is the anabolic window. So this is more for like gym people. If you're already well established in the gym, you kind of know about people talking about the anabolic window, but just a brief overview. It's the thought that you need to consume protein and a little bit of carbs like 30 minutes after your workout, or else your workout's wasted. You know, it's over. You know, you're not going to gain any muscle from your workout, which just isn't true. So you have like 2 to 4 hours to eat after workout to really replenish your muscles. The sooner is better. You know, an hour after workout is great. You know, but if you don't have the availability, it's not going to kill your workout. You're not going to get no results from it. It's still going to be beneficial. So I wouldn't stress too much about it. Just make sure you have food throughout the day. That's the most important thing. So have protein every couple hours and you'll build muscle. Don't just, you know, oh, I need it 30 minutes after my workout, or it's a waste. The next one is you need a fad diet to lose weight. So a lot of people that I talk to and have coached first come to me and they talk to me and they're like, yep, so what I've tried in the past is keto, carnivore, zone. I've tried, you know, P90X. I've tried Beachbody. I've tried all these programs and diets, and oh, I tried this 30-day challenge or this 16-week challenge, or you know, whichever challenge it may be, right? And the reason why they try these diets is to lose weight, right? But I think we can all agree that when losing weight, the most important thing is, like we've talked about, sustainability and non-restrictive. Because if you're following a diet, for example, and it's like you cannot have carbs, you cannot have cupcakes, you cannot have any alcohol. So let's imagine this. It's your birthday now. You know, you're following this diet and oh shoot, you know, I'm following this diet for 3 months, and during those 3 months, maybe you're 8 weeks in, or maybe you're only 4 weeks in, and next week is your birthday. Are you really gonna not eat cake or cupcakes on your birthday? Are you really gonna not, you know, have pizza on your birthday? Are you really not gonna have any alcohol on your birthday? Is that realistic? No. If the birthday one isn't enough, then just imagine any holiday. Okay, so it's Christmas. It's Thanksgiving. You're not gonna eat Thanksgiving dinner. You're gonna sit in the corner and eat your broccoli and your chicken with no carbs because you're not allowed to have carbs because that's the devil and that's the enemy. No, you're gonna eat what you want to eat. And what really matters is the sustainability, and that's not restrictive. So you feel more open and you can eat foods you actually enjoy and still lose weight. It's mind boggling that people just can't, you know, understand. I can eat foods that I normally like and I can still lose weight. Like I've talked about, portion size and calorie deficit. So whatever you're eating, cut down the portions, make sure you're in a calorie deficit, and you're going to lose weight. That's it. It's as simple as that. So, you know, you don't need a fad diet. You don't need to do anything like that. You don't need to become vegan, paleo, keto to lose weight. You don't need to. Okay. So now that we've gone over all 15 fitness myths, we are going to cover the Gonzales Coaching Method and how I coach differently than most coaches out there and than all of these myths. So, when it comes down to nutrition, so this is done for you nutrition. I make this process as easy, as time efficient, and as effortless as I can for you so that you can follow this and learn how to do it for the future so you become your own coach. So, what I do is I create a meal plan that works for your needs, whether that be your needs for your hectic work schedule, your family, or maybe even just some foods that you like enjoying and you don't want to really give up. So the whole point of the nutrition is that you don't have to give up foods you love. You can still make progress eating pizza. You can still make progress eating burgers. You can still make progress eating dessert. You don't have to cut these things out. And a lot of people do in these myths and in these fad diets, but you don't have to do it and you can still get the results that you want. So throughout this meal plan, I know a lot of people like it different ways. Some people are like, you know what, give me a 7-day meal plan. I'll follow it throughout the week and then I want something different. Or I need it different every 3 days or every day or every 5 days, whichever one works easier for you. Obviously the less days that it is, the more you're gonna have to go to the grocery, the more groceries you're gonna have to get. But in reality, the most simple stuff would probably be a meal plan for the week so you can get your groceries, eat the same foods for a week, with swaps so that you can still, you don't want to eat the same food every day, but you can swap out some things for some different macros, instead of eating, chicken, you could eat white fish, or instead of eating beef, you could eat salmon. Those things swap out pretty interchangeably, and it's different for your family too, because your family can't eat the same food every day. You can't eat the same food every day. So there's definitely gonna be swaps in there so you can make changes. So regarding stuff with that, I'll create a grocery list for you so that you know exactly what to get at the grocery. Now, this can be very simple, like, hey, this is the chicken that you want to buy. Hey, this is the pasta you want to buy. Hey, this is the rice you want to buy. Hey, this is, the cheese. Every little thing that you think you could need in your plan, I will make it for you and make sure that it's as simple as possible for you. If you need help at the grocery store, you can text me pictures of items, you can FaceTime me, and I'll help you out to make sure that you're getting the right stuff and that it's very easy for you. As for your tracking and stuff, a lot of the time, if you're eating on the meal plan, you don't need to track your foods because I already know what the meal plan is because I gave it to you. So I already know how many calories are on it. So you don't need to track your food, which is a plus. Number two, if you eat different than the meal plan, then just track that one item, Or text me what you ate, pretty much. Take a picture, send it to me. I'll know. I can estimate the calories, estimate the portion size, figure it out for you. So for the workouts. So all workouts are done through my personal training app. I'll create a workout plan that works for you, your desired goal, and your available equipment, as well as make sure that it works for your personal circumstances. So if you're somebody who is constantly, on the run, constantly working, constantly taking care of kids, constantly, doing something like that, we'll make sure the workouts are quick and efficient to fit in your schedule. As well as if they're at home, we can do calisthenics, we can do some body weight exercises. If you have some weights, then we can use some weights as well, dumbbell exercises. Or if you have access to a gym and you want more of a dedicated gym workout, that's available as well. And that, you understand what to do at the gym, because gyms can be intimidating if you've never gone, but I try and make that as easy as possible for you. And by doing that, what I do is I will help you throughout your workouts. So you can send me videos of your form and I will correct them, or I will help you out to make sure you're doing them correctly and make sure that you are set through your workouts so you do it correctly every single time. You're getting the best results out of your workouts, and that for the future, you know how to work out and that you don't feel stuck anymore at the gym with what to work out or how to work out. Now, the last thing is the accountability that comes from me. Comparative to other coaches, there's a lot of coaches out there who say, we check in once, but you have 24/7 access to me. But do they really mean 24/7 access? Have you ever texted a coach and they're just like, an hour goes by, 5 hours goes by, a day goes by, 3 days goes by, and they don't respond? And it's like, we could communicate, and there was no communication. So how I do things differently, we'll have one formal check-in per week. You'll take your progress photos, you'll weigh yourself on the scale, and you fill out the bio sheet that I have for you. So the bio sheet basically just, gives me a little bit of background on the past week. And what we'll do is we'll have a short Zoom call to go over all of the past week. I'll show you exactly what changes need to be made to your plan. So let's say we're in a weight loss phase. I'll show you exactly which foods will change or the amount of calories it's going to change. I'll explain to you why it's going to change so that you learn it and you understand for the future how to do it. And then I'll explain anything else. So if your weight's not moving, how to fix that. If your cardio, you're having struggles here, how to fix that. If your workouts are going well, what workouts to do instead, or which exercises to change, and then I'll review as well those workout videos so that you can know, again, how to work out, make sure that you're training correctly for the future, and that you don't need a coach again. If you can't attend the Zoom meeting that I would set up with you, then all we would do is I'd film a short Loom video, or I could film a video just like this one. I'd have your plan right here. I'd talk about each little thing and be like, hey, this week you're going to lose 200 calories. You're going to have an extra 100 calories of cardio, and your workouts stay the same. Or whichever one it changes for everybody, but that's a basic idea. As for myself, you'll have access 24/7. And by that, I mean you actually do. You have access to call me, text me. Any concerns that you have, you can address them with me and I'll be able to answer them for you. I will include weekly motivation videos from myself, kind of talking about my past, some of the things that I've overcome myself, and some mindset videos to help you out as well if you're kind of in a rut. As well as, I will reach out to you personally 2 to 3 times per week to ask you questions about how your workouts are going, how's your food, is it too little, is it too much, do you feel good, and then understand like how your mindset is. So if you're feeling, wow, I feel super stressed, super burned out, those things can all be addressed as well. So I know how to help you kind of relax a little bit, understand a little bit more, feel better. So throughout the whole program, through me and me coaching you differently than everyone else, I want to do everything I can for you so it's the easiest experience and the best choice of your life. And I want to teach you throughout the whole process so you learn how to work out, learn how to eat, learn how to stay disciplined, and you take this skill for the rest of your life. Thank you guys for making it through the video. Thank you for making it through the 15 minutes and then part of what I do. Now I have one last question before I let you go. What if I could help you lose weight and lose body fat without cutting out your favorite foods? Because we all know that you're going to have pizza, that you're going to have cookies, that you're going to have ice cream, that you're going to have alcohol. You're going to need it at one point. And I'm going to teach you exactly how to eat those same foods and not sacrifice your results in the gym and not sacrifice your goals. So I'm going to teach you exactly how to eat sustainably without cutting out your favorite foods and make sure that you still get results. What if I could help you to build lean muscle by only working out 3 to 5 times per week with the equipment that's available to you? So if you have no equipment, if you have a home gym, if you have a full gym, if you have access to a full gym, no matter what it is, what if I could help you to build lean muscle, to tone up, and to have your dream physique with 3 to 5 times per week with the stuff available to you? What if I could hold your hand through the whole process and guarantee that you would never fail throughout my program and that you would get results throughout my program? What if I were to hold you accountable and consistently motivate you throughout the program so you never give up and you never fall off? Would this be exactly what you're looking for? I also can say that this whole entire process would take less than an hour of your day. In a week, 7 hours. That is how much time you'd have to commit per week to make sure that you can guarantee results and you can reach your goals. I'm sure you spend an hour on your phone that you can transition into working out, to prepping food, to going on a walk, whichever one it may be, you can reach your goals with 7 hours per week. If that's something that you're looking for, and this is exactly what you feel like you need, then I'm going to leave a link to book a call with me down below. All you have to do is go to the link, put in some basic information, set up a time, and we'll schedule a strategy call. And on that strategy call, we're going to go over some of your goals that you have, some of the things that are holding you back, and a game plan on exactly how to reach your goal specific for you and to make sure that you can do it sustainably. And if everything sounds good at the end of the call, then we'll get working together and we'll start making progress towards your goal. If you made it this far into the video and you're unsure whether this process will work for you and your life and your busy schedule, then all you have to do is DM me the word method on Instagram at Gonzales Coaching, go to my profile, hit message and DM me method, and I'll go over this whole process specifically for you, break down every single thing that I will do to make sure that you don't fail and that you reach your goals, and make sure that you have all the information needed to make a choice on whether it's time now to make a change. If you're ready, then DM me the word method and let's get rolling.